Hi, there's no game audio. I don't like that about this run. It was an accident. I was messing. I plugged in my headphones. Okay, here's what happened. I had set up OBS correctly and it was recording game audio. But then I plugged in my headphones for something and then I didn't readjust OBS because it would auto connect to my headphones probably. So basically, long story short, I just was being lazy and didn't check my OBS settings before I did another run. So if you're actually using this for reference, I'm really sorry. That's just not going to be a reference point you'll be able to use within this video. I'm just I don't know. I had fun with this game. It was uh it was a mix of Princess and the Pauper and Rapunzel. The Rapunzel game that's tied to the film adaptation. And that's such a niche reference that like no one's going to understand what that mixture means in terms of the Barbie games, but that is the mixture. Because it has the pointing and clicking in 3D style of Princess and the Pauper, but it has like the story and a lot of the mechanics, the painting mechanic from the Rapunzel game. So, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. I think it's a cute game, you know. I, it was probably never worth more than like $5. I think at its most valuable, a reasonable price would have been $5. Maybe 10 if you're feeling extra generous. But yeah, that's about the most I could see this game being worth because it's just really short and you can't even replay it after you finish. Like once you go to the end room, you're stuck in there. You cannot leave. You can't like hatch the swans again or do any other minigame again. You just have to start a whole new save file, which isn't as good as some of the other Barbie games, which have infinite replayability on the same game file. For this, I would recommend, instead of saying blue and blue for the wand color thing, I would say middle and end. That would just make it simpler. Sorry, that will just make it simpler to remember the order if you're saying it in your head. I got this so quickly because, like, for 3 games in a row, that was basically the combination, and that puzzle is fully based on sound. I'm so sorry. Um, but, like, I had been getting those plants basically every game for a while, which isn't the case. You get other plants sometimes, but I don't know. I was using different game file names and stuff too. The RNG might be really simple in this game. I'm not really sure why that happened. Or I just got lucky. I love the various items. I just. Eggshells. I love that they have eggshells as an ingredient, which feels very witchy and very cute, but not very Barbie like. I don't know. But I got a really low time in this. Like, if you play this game at first, if you're like me anyway, you'll probably get a time of like 11 or 10 minutes initially. But I lowered it to like a 9:35. I haven't split yet, but that's what I did when I was like doing it in person. So, I mean, that's like I think that's pretty good for just like practicing for like 4 hours maybe. Not straight, obviously, but generally 4 hours. I mean, my time will be easy to beat if someone actually puts in more effort, but at the same time, I am proud of this time. Um, for some other games in the CD-ROM thing, I haven't been putting in as much effort, but this one felt really good to put in effort for. I don't know. I liked playing this one. It definitely wasn't like the best game ever, and I know Detective Barbie's probably gonna be the most complex and like best game, but overall, I mean, this was like Cute. I can see myself running this again if someone beats my time, for sure. Oh, I haven't mentioned this. I ran this on a virtual machine, and I will put in the description how to get that set up and running, for sure. I'm going to include where I got this game. I'm going to actually include the tutorial for the virtual machine. It's just going to be a YouTube link. I'm going to include the download link for this game, and I'm going to include some instructions that I just rip off a comment from like archive.org or something. But the comment worked. The comment advice worked. So I'm just going to probably copy that comment. I'm doing that because it was really frustrating to find all that info and cobble it together myself. So yeah. And if you need any more help, join the Barbie Discord and maybe I'll still be active and be able to tell you in more detail how I did it. But yeah. It's not too difficult to install. I'm making it sound more dramatic than it is. It's just the first time I've used a virtual machine, and I had to like mess with this game a bit to get it to work in ways I hadn't done before. So if you're new to all this shit like I am, I'm just going to be the resource. So this minigame, when you first start it up, click to skip the animation after like 1 or 2 seconds. If you skip it immediately, the whole animation plays anyway. It's pretty weird. No other animation works like that in this game. Just this one. So yeah. Also, I haven't mentioned it yet, I don't believe, but you can skip the end of every minigame. Like for the wand minigame, I've just been like skipping immediately, but usually you can see it transform and then you see it in your inventory. It's not supposed to be a surprise what it is. I just skip too quickly and you can't even see what the wand is before you're like shaking it around. Also, I think the routing I take is fine. You're going to have to backtrack no matter which route you take. So I think the way I go is fine. My technique, I guess, is just preference because I was doing different things at first. You can use any wand to change any area. So at first I was just using like the wand I'd gotten from the previous area to transform the first area, but that made it harder to find the ingredients for the wand. So I started finding the ingredients for the wand and first, and since I did that, I usually just tended to use the fresh wand. But sometimes I like find the ingredients, do the mini game, and then make the wand. But when I did that order, I kept forgetting to make the wand. In that puzzle, you need to color in at least like two of them. If you color in one line, the game gets mad at you. I colored in a bit extra, honestly, but like, yeah, you need to color in at least two. I lost time here for sure, but honestly, it's not significant in the long run, I don't believe. It took me a while to get to this run because a lot of runs die because you exit to a new area too soon and you just can't find your feet and like adjust quickly enough. Some you just do really bad on the mini games. Some you just mess up the wand, etc. I'm going to say you split once the screen goes fully dark. Like on the first frame of like full darkness in nighttime, that's when you split. My timer should be relatively correct because that's when I'm going to split. But, it took me a while to decide. And I was going to do when you clicked on the sky. But the thing is, you can't tell when you click. I mean, maybe you can a little bit. I guess you could just go by the first frame of like the sky changing color. But nighttime's easier to tell. I hope you enjoyed.